Hey guys, what's going on? I took a nap and I'm back at it. So let's see what's going on in the markets. I want to apologize. My technical analysis usual callback this morning was just, it wasn't, the content wasn't good. I wasn't happy with it. But at least you guys got to see me nail a trade, right? That's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, um, I'm refreshed a little bit now. Took a few hour nap and let's just analyze the markets together. Hopefully in this video, I can teach you guys something. That was my objective in my last video. That's my objective in all my videos, but my last video really sucked. It didn't really cover anything. So as you guys know, I love to use the Fibonacci levels. Let's look at Ethereum. This is what I'm trading. And I'm looking at Bitcoin too. It's selling off a little bit. But maybe it won't be, maybe that sell-off isn't as bad as what people are trying to make it. So we'll look at those two things together. First, we'll start with Ethereum. There's so much action in Ethereum right now. So let's pull out the Fib level, the Fibonacci retracement. Boom. All right, cool. See what's going on here. All right, so in that last video I had, I was short and I started covering down here. And I said it was going to bounce off of here, but this sell-off was huge. And it just, it was too much panic in that. That's why it, kind of tried reclaiming it, bounced off of that fib level, and then crossed above it. Now it's trying to consolidate above it. I don't think it's going to make it though. I don't think it's going to be able to continue consolidating and continue to move on the upside. There's really no new development on this Ethereum DAO story. Everything is still the same. They still have the hard fork. Everybody's scared about the hard fork, and investor confidence is being lost in the hard fork. And you have the possibility of no hard fork and the DAO exploding and catching on fire, and then the guy who stole all this money dumping all his Ethereum on and in the markets. So that's what's going on. It's still really bearish, but this could go up. And that's why I'm not even touching this right now, not even with a 10-foot pole, because at these, let's look at the daily chart. Sometimes you get this, we call it FOMO, fear of missing out, and you just want to, short because it's selling off. Looks like it's going to continue selling off, but you guys, when you have FOMO, try not to trade because you make irrational decisions. And maybe irrationality isn't what causes the FOMO. It's maybe lack of experience because people sometimes don't understand the emotion and the what I'm about to tell you guys is something that you guys should really understand if you guys want to become traders. Markets are filled with emotions, and you have to learn the emotional curve. Uh, these technical analyses, the only thing they serve, the only purpose they serve for me is to set a risk so I can measure my potential reward. And with that, I can decide whether or not a trade is worthwhile. That's the only reason why I use technical analysis. And that's why a lot of profitable traders use it as well. That's why they stay in the game. It's because they understand that every second of the day, and maybe I am being hypocritical right now because I've been trading for the last 3 freaking days without stopping. But look at this. You can't look at this. You can't not trade that for 3 days straight. But sometimes people overtrade when there's no trades to be made. So what I'm just saying to you is there's going to be a bottom in this. I don't think it's here. I think it's much lower. But if you short and you use too much size, because the range on this, let's look at the range. The range is ginormous. I mean, look, if you short 1,000 or go long 1,000 Ether, 0.16 down to 0.13, if you made the wrong call, like if you went long here, you would have lost 3 freaking Bitcoin there. It's a lot. I mean, you get shaken out really quickly in these volatile markets. So you have to really measure your risk versus reward. Uh, that's that's probably the most important thing in trading. Is measuring risk reward and knowing when to take trades and when not to take trades. So back to the subject of Ethereum and what's going on with it. It's trying to hold this fib level here, this 38% Fibonacci level. You know what? This Fibonacci level isn't a very strong one. Usually the strong ones are 50%, which you see here. Yesterday, it closed above the 50%. So it actually went below it, closed above it. That shows the strength of a 50% Fibonacci level. And there's also the 0.618, as you can see, there's a lot of respect for that level as well. And 61%, right? Yeah, 61%. You guys should really look into the Fibonacci. A lot of in the beginning when I first started trading, there's all these different indicators. I'm like, and someone told me about Fibonacci, and it just sounds so corny. It sounds so crazy, Fibonacci. But it really is interesting if you look into why Fibonacci works and why it is respected, and that's why traders and that's why you see on this chart right in front of your very eyes that once it reaches a key point in the Fibonacci level, you have some type of action. So a lot of traders like to use, and I like to use it too sometimes. I don't really use them anymore though. Is support and resistance lines like this. They wake up in the morning, they put their support, their resistance lines, and they make their trades based off of that. But that can be very dangerous because if, for instance, let's look at today. So I just put in my whatchamacallit, my support and resistance lines. And as you can see, every time it hit those support resistance lines, it was a good buy, but it's just small. It's not. You can't get any big movement out of it. Now, some people are scalpers and they'll buy it when it hits. If it's coming down, they'll buy it, and then they'll sell into it, and then they'll maybe even short it down into it, cover here. But sometimes they'll try buying it again over here, and it just crashes on them. You know what I mean? It's good for scalping trend lines, but the reason why I don't like using this is that I've gotten myself in a lot of trouble using it. So I like now I'm the time frame I like trading in. When I take a trade, I prefer taking a trade that will keep me in the trade between 6 to 24 hours. I haven't reached a stage in my career yet that I'm able to take a trade for a month or 2 weeks or a week, even a couple days. I constantly look at charts, and that might be because I'm still a little unconfident about my ability. I know my ability is good, but when you have money on the line and putting your money where your mouth is, sometimes the story changes a little bit. So it's all out of development. Guys, I'm only 24 years old. I've only been trading for a few years, so this stuff comes as your experience, as you get more experience. So that's why, and let me finish explaining why I like the Fibonacci tool indicator. Again, let me put this out here for you guys. You guys might hear a little echo in the background. I just bought a house a couple months ago, and I'm remodeling the whole joint. So it's all empty in here right now. I gotta get the furniture in here. I gotta get my stupid ass electrician in here to finish up what he's got to finish. So I'm kind of doing home stuff right now while making this video. So the Fibonacci levels, support and resistance levels, really help me in particular take a trade and maximize a trade. So, for instance, if I'm away for a day or two and I didn't know about this, Ethereum sell-off. I look into it a little bit. I kind of get What I'm telling you guys right now is what goes through my mind before I take a trade. So before I jump the gun, get any type of FOMO, any of that stuff, I need to know what the market sentiment is, right? Is it still a little hopeful? Is it completely bearish, which is a red flag for shorts? Is it? Do you want to just get a uh, total mindset of the market? So I go on my Twitter, I look up Twitter, I check the news, see what's going on, read about it, and I see the scale, the fundamental scale of the problem or the good news. Good news, price goes up. Bad news, this happens. What you see on my screen. Uh, and with that, I try and measure uh, uh, the market sentiment. I can also see the market sentiment on Twitter. And then from there, I can look at this chart with clear mind and make my decision as to what trade I'm going to make based off of everything I just found out. So it's a process. This shit ain't easy, guys. It takes time, but it's great when you get it down. It really is great when you get it down. So if I, for instance, I am away for a couple of days, I come back, I'm logging on my computer, I see Ethereum, I see this on my screen. No, actually, let me scroll back. I see this on my screen. I'm like, holy crap, this thing just sold off. It's sitting above this level here, this 50% Fibonacci level. This thing could go back up, but let me go check out what's going on. Check it out. There's a Dow hack, $60 million with Ethereum, potentially could be dumped on the market. The only way to stop this is with a hard fork, but with the hard fork, there's going to be a investor confidence issue, and either way, Ethereum is trying to watch my language. My girlfriend tells me I got to stop first. Ethereum is fucked, and so I see this. I'm like, okay, and I see this. I'm watching it, and I see it snap this 50% level. I'm actually going to chase that. I'm going to chase that down because I know, based off my experience, from here, my potential gain, my risk reward. I take the trade at 0.189. I'm talking hindsight here, but this is exactly what I do. And my risk is 0.01 Bitcoin, which equates to, if I'm trading 1,000, one Bitcoin for potential from 0.19 down to 0.15. That's a potential 3 Bitcoin gain. So my risk reward is great. It's 1 to 3 risk reward, and those are the odds that you want to trade off of. It's kind of like gambling, but the odds are, you want to make sure that odds are intensely in your favor before you take a trade, or else you're just gonna lose it all. So that's that. Another cool thing I wanted to show you guys on yesterday's video, which I've been freaking tired, I haven't been sleeping, I've been trading, and I had these things in mind for you guys, but excuse me, I don't show it because I forget, and I've got a million things on my mind. It's another Fibonacci tool. It's called the Fib Fan Resistance. This is great. Excuse me. This is great. This paired with the Fibonacci. Excuse me. Hold on one second, guys. I got a call. This paired with the Fibonacci levels that I just showed you before this tool is a great. You can really narrow down. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You really narrow down like sniper entry points, like razor sharp. You're not taking you're virtually taking no risk, and let me throw this in there. Great. All right. So I have, it's kind of messy. It's I call it noisy, but it just works. It works for me. I don't know. It works for me. I made like freaking 15 Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. It's nuts. It's like $10,000. You have this sell-off. So you see the sell-off, you can kind of use the Fibonacci levels. This is too much of a range to use the up and down fib, so you use the fib fan. And the way the fib fan works is you put the top where the highest point before the sell-off occurred and the lowest point. You know, you have to have a high and a low. You could do it here. You got to come out and wait for things to develop. And you can kind of take your trades off of these levels. You can see it respects these levels. But as time goes on, as the chart develops, you get this beautiful chart. And with this, you can trade channels. And this is what I've been doing. You know, you have, when this based over here, I knew I can use my fib fan. Boom, boom. This is what I'm trading. This is what I'm trading off of. And my mindset on this is bearish. So I'm not going to take many longs. I only take longs for certain patterns, which I haven't really talked to you guys about my favorite patterns yet, and I'll do that on another video. So you know, you have the top and you know your low. You put it on these pivot levels here, and you can make your trades accordingly. So what I'll do is if I'm in scout mode and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, I'll short when it hits these resistance levels, and then I'll buy it back when it hits my fib up and down level. You can kind of see what's going on here. This shit really works. It's really good. And let's point out to where it's at now. So it's traveling in this 0.05, 50%, and 38% Fibonacci. This might channel down. I think this is hitting 10, possibly even tonight, 0.010 Bitcoin. But I am, I'm over. I trade too much. I can't trade anymore. I'm like almost brain dead. You can kind of probably hear by the way, like the way I'm talking. I'm pretty tired, guys. So that's that. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart. I haven't paid much attention to Bitcoin because of Ethereum, but let's take a look at what's going on hold. What's that? You have a pullback. And that's pretty sizable pullback. But that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what we've seen on the daily chart. Now, on the long-term time frame, look how beautiful this chart is. It's nuts. If I were to trade off my fib lines, you kind of see, look how awesome this is. You have this breakout, blows past that fib, respects that one, tries respecting it again, but the bulls push through, boom, hit that one, and flagged, like a really tight flag, and boom, right through that fib level too. So if this is going to continue doing what it's doing, it should reach here eventually to 5,600 CNY. For all my American folks, my United States, North America, US dollar users, 6,000 CNY equals US dollar 913 bucks. This is going to be awesome. I am holding all my Bitcoin. I am not selling one of them. I am not long on margin, but I am long. I'm always long. I always have a balance of Bitcoin. A certain part of my net worth is Bitcoin. So if we look at what's going on here to get you guys prepared to what might happen over the next few days. In my last video, I said that it's been channeling and consolidating in this top 100% to 78% Fibonacci level here. And as long as it continues doing that, this thing is going to go higher. And in my opinion, from what I've seen before, when a stock becomes, or not a stock, when a certain trading vehicle becomes bearish, it enters a bear market, or it's time to short, is when this comes down to here and comes up here, fails. That's when you want to short. That's your bear market. It just continues going down. But as long as it consolidates in this level here, we are going to the moon. We're going a lot higher. We're going a lot higher. All right. Now, other indicators I like to use. So in the moment trades, short scalps, things like short-term trades. You guys probably never heard of it, but it's called a volume weighted average price, VWAP. VWAP's pretty cool. I'll show you what that is. I'll show you, you guys probably know what the volume is, and this is the STO RSI. Okay. So the STO RSI, we'll start with that. The STO RSI on a short-term time frame is not so good. Let's see what's going on real quick. Yep, that's selling. Let's pick one. Let's see. I was just talking about STO RSI. You guys, if you guys are going to continue following me and watching my videos, you guys know that I'll start talking, and I'll forget about what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it's not so good. It's going to bounce up. Oh, there you go. As I just said, it's going to bounce up, and this is probably going to come down to this line here. All right, so back to Bitcoin. The STO RSI on a short-term time frame is too choppy, so I like to use that on the daily. Since my trades that I like to take are all between 6 and 24 hours, this works pretty well for me. So when it's high, you want to sell. When it's low, the RSI is low, down close to zero, you want to buy. That's usually a good indication if something is oversold or overbought. Right now, it's in the middle, it's in between, and that's healthy. It's a good thing because once this blue line crosses over the red line, this thing is going higher. But for now, it's trying to find its trend. Believe it or not, this trend just started. It didn't end yet. It didn't really develop yet. Once this pivot, and then you have another pivot, you'll have some more upside. Usually, don't. You can take your trade based off of that if you'd like, but if I were you, I can get in trouble for giving investment advice, right? If I were you, I would take a trade close to this line to see how the price reacts at that line, and if it is accepting the trend, you want to go with it and ride the wave. So that's the STO RSI. Right now, it's in between. It hasn't decided where it's going to go yet, but based off of this pattern, it looks like it's consolidating, and then boom, up. And the other indicator I like to use is the volume weighted average price. What the volume weighted average price is, all the compiled data of what people bought at and what people sold at. And once you get all that data and you put it all together, you get a line, and you put that line on your chart, you can kind of see where the momentum is on a very short time frame. So this is good for like entries and exits. Right now, this wouldn't be a good short in this short-term 1 hour time frame because it's already below the VWAP, and it's probably going to go a little bit lower, or it might track and squeeze and go up. When you want to short is when it's high above this VWAP on a short-term time frame. If you want to just make a quick scalp, it's too high above it. Well, nothing's too high. But when it's high above, you can kind of take a trade and short it. The VWAP is just an indicator of a short-term time frame, and it's just an indicator of, for me at least, for a good entry and exit point. For instance, on this breakout that we had from 500 bucks, okay, it broke out, and I'm looking at it, right? Broke out. I'm asking myself, do I want to take it long, or is this just a bull trap? Is it going to go down? What's going on with this? When I see it go above my fib level here, I'm like, okay, that's great. And even sells off a little bit, but then reclaims it and makes a hammer, That's even stronger. That's a hammer candle, by the way, guys. Very important. Hammer candle. You want to look out for those things. Those things are awesome. And it'll try it'll and it's also above the VWAP. Reclaim reclaim the Fibonacci level here. This thing is going up, and that's a trade that I would take. If this thing goes up and it goes below it, closes below it, then it's not a long trade, and it's not even a short trade either, because it could just consolidate here and you'll be trapped in the middle of it. So you want to wait for these large range trades. I will show you more examples of that in the future as we go over these charts a little bit more in detail. And what's the other one? The Fibonacci. You guys know I love the Fibonacci. Oh, volume. What's cool about volume is you can also use volume to. What I like to use volume for is in the momentum trade like this. You'll have a large volume candle which sparks the momentum up or down if it's a sell-off like Ethereum. And once it's time to sell again, or to buy, to do the opposite of what you did, to close out your position, you'll want to have a large volume candle preceding the initial one, so that you know, now you know that the people who might have entered in the beginning are now exiting into that large volume candle. That hasn't been the case yet with Bitcoin. We also need to look at the volume candles in relativity to the previous volume candles, the previous history volume candles. So this thing is so. Let me take this volume off. Go away. It didn't really work. I'll figure it out later. So if you look at these large volume candles from this big breakout to 1200, you'll see the biggest volume candle is here. All right, guys. So this is actually what started this long trend here. And cool, I didn't even realize this. This is the biggest volume candle that we've had priced to the US dollar in Bitcoin. So what you guys want to look out for when to sell. If you're long Bitcoin, or if you're not long Bitcoin, I would buy the dip based on what I'm looking at here, if there is a dip. You want to have another large volume candle that reaches this level here. Right now we haven't had that. We had half of that so far. So once this thing is this size, this candle, this bar is this size or larger, that's when you know there's too many buyers. It has to be a green candle too. There's too many buyers, and what happens is there's a squeeze to the downside, which is a bull trap. There's so many names for it, and that's that. So that's gonna wrap it up for today. This is just a video to brush up on my earlier one today. My earlier one, I've been up for 3 days, guys. I've said this a million times. I've been up for like 3 days straight, just trading away. And I want to make these videos for you guys. I want my content to be great. I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about, and I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to be able to do what I'm doing here. And that video sucked. My last video really sucked. And on top of that, I was in a trade, which the trade turned out to be a good trade. You guys got to see that in that last video. You guys should just go check that trade out. It was a pretty good trade, and that just screwed up my flow. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like my content, subscribe to my channel. Please leave me a comment below if you have any questions for me. If you have any suggestions as to things that I should do in the future. And if you'd like to see my entries and my exits, I like to post them up on Twitter at officialcoinrun, www.twitter.com /officialcoinrun. I will link that in the comment, or what do you call that? The description box below. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. And until next time, I'll probably make a video tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's Sunday. I'll probably make a video tomorrow, but Monday I'll probably be back at it again. Happy Father's Day, and until next time.